for coming out tonight. My name is Greg Delancey. I'm the chair for Calloway County. And, this is our grand opening of the Victory headquarters for the Jackson Purchase area. And I hope everybody... This is kind of a dream come true for our party here, because we have talked to the state party a number of times, the Republican Party, encouraging them to focus their attention here, and they have always been helpful. And this year, more than ever, I think we are focused to develop some campaigns for some great candidates in Western Kentucky. What a super opportunity we have to come together. And thank you all again for coming out tonight, because we think this represents an excellent way to get started here in Calloway County. You know, we've had so many people change their registrations in the last year, from Democrat to Republican. And I've seen that. We've seen growth over the last 4 years. People are getting tired of the same Democratic mess that's going on. So what's happening? They're changing. And we've seen evidence of that. And that growth is happening right here, right now. This headquarters is going to be a place that we can encourage Republicans to come out and to vote for their candidates. And that's what we need here in this fall election, is to have the Republicans get in gear, because we know that the tides have changed. Now with Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, there's an excellent surge in our country and energy that's come home. And so we really appreciate that announcement that we had over the weekend. Tonight we're going to simply have an opportunity for our candidates to say a few words to each of you. And I wanted to introduce just a couple of people. Andy Johnson here from Frankfort, Kentucky. She's with the state GOP. Corner right there is our victory coordinator for Calloway for Jackson Purchase area, Andrew Schoppner. And one of the big campaigns, you're going to see some of the stickers over there that says 12 and 12, right? 12 and 12. That means that we are going after the state house, and that's all we need is 12 candidates to make this a victory for, or a majority for the state of Kentucky. So we're working on that. Make sure you get your stickers and different things that we have over here while you're here, and take them with you. I've worked with Michael Pape for a long time here in Western Kentucky. Michael Pape is up here with us now, and his boss is Ed Whitfield. And Ed Whitfield is running again. He has been a tremendous asset to Kentucky and to this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed could not be with us tonight, but Michael Pape is here, and Michael, we'd love to have you say something.
Appreciate it. Well, hello everyone. What an exciting time it is. Exciting time to be opening this headquarters here tonight. I want you to know we just finished about 10 days on the road with Congressman Whitfield around the 1st District. And it's quite clear what we're up against in this election. This is a battle for the future of our country in all respects, whether it's in Washington, D.C. or in the State House in Frankfort. And I can tell you, I look kind of like a sticker walking around with a tie tonight, but it's a good sign. We've got all these tremendous candidates that you see before you here that we know if we can get them elected, our future is going to be brighter, wouldn't you say? Yes. And so we want you to do everything you can between now and the election, which is just 80-some days, to make sure that each of these gentlemen that you see here before you tonight that are going to speak are elected at the Frankfort level, at Frankfort. And also I want you to do everything you can for Congressman Whitfield and make sure that the next president of the United States is Mitt Romney. How about that? Now, from traveling around this district with Congressman Whitfield in the last 10 days, starting with Fancy Farm before and then finishing up here last Friday. And the Congress will be back at the end of the month, but he's got to go to the convention yet. And he's on the platform committee this time, so he's going to be leading the platform of our National Republican Party. And that's an exciting thing. But going around this district and talking with people that create jobs, people that are employing other people, it's quite evident that what's been happening in Washington, D.C. over the last 3.5 years is absolutely contrary to job creation, absolutely contrary to growing our economy. And our businesses and our business people are just barely hanging on by their fingernails, really, to keep their doors open, to keep people employed. They're certainly not expanding. We visited Remington Arms Company in Mayfield last week with Congressman Whitfield. That's a great company in Mayfield. 300 people work there. It's a company that has a rich history in our country, and they make guns, good guns too. And yet, when we talk with them, they tell us about all the overreaching regulations out of the federal government that prohibit them, really, from expanding and growing at the rate that they want to grow. Because they have the market, but we don't have a government that backs that growth. And we visited Stella Jones in Fulton County. Fulton County has 17% unemployment right now. And the Stella Jones Company employs about 250 people. And they make cross ties for the railroad industry in this country and in other countries. And they told Congressman Whitfield, they said, Congressman, we would like to expand right now. We could add 45 more jobs today if we weren't battling the EPA over ambient air standards and the odor that comes from cross ties when you dip them in creosote. Which, by the way, when we toured that facility, they use the most modern technology to scrub that smell as much as they can out of the air, so it's not offensive to people. And what's more offensive is not being able to create 45 more jobs because the federal government has a useless regulation that goes against that. And that's the type of mentality that we've got to change in this country. We've got to do it right away. Otherwise, the country that we've known all of our lives is not going to be as bright for our children and our grandchildren. And that's what this race is all about. It's about electing the right people to the White House, to Congress, to the State House, make sure that we get back on track. We've got some great candidates here at the local level and the state level. We definitely need Stan Humphreys as our next state senator, wouldn't you say? The choice ought to be obvious for that race, but we can't take anything for granted. We've got to make sure that each of you do everything you can. We know Stan's going to win Trigg County, no question about it. But we've got some other counties in this race, Calloway County, Graves County, the river counties. We've got to make sure that he does just as well in those counties as he does in Trigg County. And I know you're going to do all you can for that. You've got to elect Richard Heath to the State House, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
He's a businessman. He's met payrolls. He understands what it takes to be in business and to grow business. And we need his type of thinking in Frankfort, for sure. And we need this gentleman, who has been a tried and true representative for this area from years past, and we need him now more than ever. We need to send Kenny Imes to Frankfort as well. There's no learning curve for this man. He knows what it takes to make government responsible and do what it should do. We need all of our local candidates. We need to make sure that we elect our local races as well, the city council level and the fiscal courts. It all counts. And this year more than ever it counts. So, Greg, have I left anyone out that I haven't seen in the back room that's running?
I think that's about it.
I just want you all to know that Congressman Whitfield is committed to making sure that we maintain our conservative principles that have guided this country and led to where it is today. We know that President Obama's only accomplishments have been to increase our national debt by over $5 trillion and create the size of government. Those are the only two things he can hang his hat on. But we've got to make sure that enough of us go out and vote on election day, like-minded voters, that he's not the president for the next 4 years. We cannot afford that. And I know you're going to do everything you can to make that happen. So between now and November, you're going to see Congressman Whitfield out here in this district traveling hard for these candidates, for himself, and for our presidential nominee. You're going to see him doing everything he can at the National Convention to make sure that platform committee, especially on energy, comes out as strong as we can, a contrast to what the White House has been putting out. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that our country's future is bright. And I know you're going to do the same. Thank you very much.
I had the opportunity to talk to Ken Winters just the other day, and Ken is still our state senator. He's still working in Frankfort, and he had committee meetings today. He was not able to come to our meeting tonight. But Ken is very high on this gentleman right here, Stan Humphreys from Trigg County. Ladies and gentlemen, our next first district state senator, Stan Humphreys.
Thank you all so much for having me this afternoon. What a great day in Calloway County to have this Victory Center opened up here. This means so much to me personally, and I know the other candidates as well, because it says that the folks over here in the Purchase in Calloway County know how important this race is, and know how important it is to get the word out and the vote out. Greg was mentioning Senator Winters. And I want to say just how much I appreciate the work that Senator Winters has done for the 1st District. He has served very well the last 8 years in the situation he's been in. I know he would have liked to have stayed on and stayed as our senator in the 1st District. But, you know, times change, and we appreciate him and the work that he's done. What a great gentleman and a steward of our money in Frankfort. I want to just say a few things about who I am. A lot of you may have met tonight for the first time. I'm the county judge executive in Trigg County. I have some Trigg Countyans here with me tonight. I appreciate them making the trek over that new segment of bridge we got to put in. I'll give you a little hint. The night before I knew I was going to declare to run for state senator was the night the bridge got knocked out. And I thought, oh my, is this a sign or what? But I was certainly appreciative to see how government can work when we all get, you know, our sleeves rolled up, get to work, and 4 months later have the section of bridge put in. That's a wonderful refreshing to us all. You know, I believe that some of our biggest issues lie ahead of us. We have great times and great events here in our area, but you know, as a border county, like Calloway County, like Trigg County, a lot of the areas throughout the 1st District, I believe our biggest area of concern is going to be job creation. I was there the day that Johnson Controls employees, 600 people, got their pink slip and said, your services are no longer needed. And the folks that I had gone to school with that maybe had their first job and they've been there 20 years said, we got to go home and try to find something different to do. Fulton County, as you mentioned a while ago, Mike, 17, 18%. And, you know, these numbers are staggering when you think about how important it is for people to be trying to survive in this economy. We have people tonight who are thinking about how they're going to make the mortgage payment tomorrow. And that cannot exist, and it should not be existing in the 1st District in Western Kentucky. You know, job creation, job sustainment, finding ways to make folks not be underemployed. I think underemployment is also very devastating. You know, folks that were making a certain amount of dollars at Johnson Control or Ferry Morrison and Fulton, these folks have now had to resort back to finding something that's less than what it takes to sustain a family. So job creation, job sustainment is going to be very important. I think we have to make wise investments. You know, money's tight. Everybody agrees money is tight. Making wise investments in our district is going to be the utmost importance. I mentioned a while ago the bridge, and I kind of said that jokingly, but I am so tired of the county judge executive seeing ideas of roads, bridges, be put on the 6-year road plan 6, 12, and 18 years. I know Kenny knows what I'm talking about because those roads get put on there, but unless you have somebody strong enough to carry the water from your area, those roads will stay on there. Those bridges will not get built unless we have somebody who's going to be there to tell transportation and our state government how important they are for the 1st District. So it's vital that we have people there like myself who's going to be able to do that. I know what it takes to help those areas get fulfilled. Folks, there's a lot of areas out there that we have got to work on. But I believe that right in Western Kentucky, right here in the city of Murray State University is the jewel in Western Kentucky. I believe it's underappreciated and underutilized. I was here a few weeks ago at an Ag Bioworks event down here at the basketball arena, and to think about the prospects of what can happen if we put our technology together, if we put our leadership at the university together. These folks that are out here on the cutting edge, although it's been a tough year in farming, these folks are some of the best stewards of money, land, values, anywhere around. And so when you can culminate and bring those bodies together, the idea of having something evolved from a place like Murray, Kentucky, that we could be not only the Commonwealth leader, but perhaps the world leader in energy and growth. It's very exciting to think about the prospects of that. So we have to do a better job, as Mike mentioned a while ago, of getting government out of the way. We don't need government telling us how to live our lives. I'm 100% pro-life. I have an A rating with the NRA. I don't have Fort Campbell and Land Between the Lakes in my county and not be supportive of Second Amendment rights. So I want you to know that up front. Folks asked me a while ago about that. So these other guys do a great job. They're going to be great candidates for us here. But my job is for the next 12 weeks is to get the word out in all Western Kentucky. There's one of me. And Saturday, I traveled probably 200 miles trying to get around as many places I could get around. But it's a huge district. It's 7 counties. And so it means so much more if you would say something to a friend, a family member, an acquaintance you have over in the other counties to say, look, this guy from Trigg County, county judge executive, is willing to go to Frankfort and fight for us. Will you please support him? Put a sign out. Knock on a door for him. The phone banks that are set up tonight. This is a great opportunity to make it. I challenge you to say that in 12 weeks, we're going to make a difference. You're going to have a new senator one way or the other. In 12 weeks, that can be me, the conservative, strong candidate that you'd be proud of, or someone else. It's your decision. So I'll leave you with that. I'll challenge you to help me along the way, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
I said earlier that we've had a lot of change. A lot of people have joined the Republican Party, the conservatives. We've had a lot of folks come our way. This site that we're at tonight used to be the Democratic headquarters.
Looks better.
There's been a lot of change. One of the slogans in the Romney campaign is, "It's okay to make a change," right? We have the opportunity tonight to make a change. And one of those folks that I think that we have an opportunity to make that happen, and I'm so pumped and so excited about having this candidate, is Kenny Ives, who's going to be the next 5th District representative for the state of Kentucky.
Thank you indeed, Greg. Thank all of you all for coming out tonight. This means so much. I mean, it's an experience of a lifetime. I want to stress the same thing really that Mike said, that Stan has said. I'm sure Richard will amen it too. You know, we've got to elect people that have principles, that know who they are, know what their thinking is. We've got to elect people that have a moral compass. We haven't done that. And then we've got to elect people that have a vision for where we're going. And then those same people, once they're elected, have got to go in there and implement the vision that we all share together. So I think that is paramount when you look at any of us or any other candidate for any office, is who they are, what they stand for. We don't need more of this propagation of distrust and disharmony, division, and all that we're getting out of the other party now. I want to say something as y'all have alluded, and most of you probably know. I served 4 terms in the legislature back in the 70s. And 2 of those terms I served as chairman of the State Government Committee, which is one of the more important committees in Frankfort. And I don't feel like I have changed one bit from who I am, who I was then versus who I am now. But the party that I was a member of at that time, the party that I was raised with, the party that my family has been members of for probably the 180 years that our family, both sides of my family have been in Calloway County, changed. It left. So I love to tell people, I did not leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me. And I'm proud to hold to the traditions and the principles of the Republican Party. I want you all, as soon as the conventions are concluded, to get copies of the platforms of both parties. Sit down with them and just read plank to plank the differences. And then you need to tell your friends what you see in there. You're going to see daylight and dark. It's that obvious, that plain to everyone. I mean, that's what you're going to see. The choice should be fundamentally clear. There's no middle of the road. There's no brown. This is a black and a white election. And I know we've heard it said before. We're hearing it now. that this is the most important election of our lifetime. People believe it. It is. I mean, we're on the cliff that we're fixing to drop off of if something doesn't change dramatically in a very relatively short period of time. The thing we have to remember is, you know, it's going to take cooperation. While we have every intention of being the majority party in Kentucky, even though we are, we've got to get the partisanship, once November the 6th is come and gone, we're going to have to get the partisanship out of the way and go over and work together. Right now, what you see in Frankfort and in Washington is just bickering over nothing, and nothing's accomplished. So I'm not saying compromise our values, compromise anything, but I'm saying find a way of working together. And I think that's what you see the three of us that are here tonight willing to do. Now, we are going to stand on principle. We are going to stand on our convictions, and we're going to implement them. The last thing I'll leave you with, I don't know, most of you got some gray hair, or at least you're old enough to remember there was a commercial for Wendy's right down the road here back probably 20, 25 years ago. I don't know when it first ran. A little old lady going up to the counter and asking the question, "Where's the beef?" You know the quotes. You know what I'm talking about. The beef standing right there, the beef standing right there, and the beef standing here. We can represent you in a way and manner that you would be proud of, or if we ever want to come back and ask you to vote again, you can say with confidence, they did it right. Thank you.
Where's the beef? I like that. That's good. Had an opportunity to meet Richard Heath at Lincoln Day dinner and heard him speak. And ladies and gentlemen, I think you've got the real deal here. We've got men of integrity standing here, and one of those men is going to be the next 2nd District State House Representative, Richard Heath.
I appreciate the invitation to come over and say a few things. Of course, Graves County is right next door here. I was born and raised in Graves County, come from a farm background, and graduated from Murray State University with a master's degree in agriculture. Taught school 1 year. Managed the small business there in Mayfield, the co-op store. I've owned a small business for the last 12 years. And I tell people as I travel about, I can represent the farmers because I've walked in your shoes. I can represent the school teachers. I've walked in your shoes. I can represent the small business owners. I'm walking in your shoes. Not many candidates can say that. And when Michael was talking about small business owners just hanging on, he's exactly right. And that's where we've been the last 4 years. We're just hanging on, waiting for the next election, waiting for things to turn around, hoping that you know, we're going to have some brighter days ahead. So my intentions when I get to Frankfort is to move Kentucky towards a business-friendly state and attract more jobs and more industry to Western Kentucky, where we desperately need the jobs. And that's where I'm headed when I get to Frankfort.
Well, thank you for attending this grand opening event. We have, obviously, there's some food and some refreshments here that you can participate in. You can talk to the candidates. We hope you will take a moment to meet them and to find out more about their platform and their ideas. One of the other things, and the reason we have this Victory Center here, is to have the opportunity to call Republicans throughout the region, to encourage them to get out and vote. It's very important to do that. Andrew has a couple of clipboards, and we'd like to start those around. If you will, we would really love to have you sign up, if you haven't already done so, to come and work a few hours, several days, whatever the opportunity you have. This is something you can do, because not only are we going to elect these gentlemen, but we're going to elect this guy right here too, and we're going to elect Paul. This is a great opportunity for us to come together. It's a good opportunity for you to share some of your time. If you'd like to share your money, that's fine too, but your time is even more important, that we have an opportunity to call folks in the area. Again, thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it so much, and we're going to hang around for a while. Actually, we're going to end up having our regular monthly meeting of the Calloway County Republican Party. And if you'd like to stay for that, you're welcome to do that as well. But that's going to be a little bit later. So hang out with us, have some more lemon squares and soft drinks. And again, thank you very much.